All right. Welcome in to this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Byrne. Evan, how we doing?
Doing all right. Bucks are Weather is freezing. I don't know how cold it is by you, but I think it was like a crisp 20 degrees when I left work today. Not enjoying it.
It's a little chilly out. It's a little chilly out. Now, here's what's better though. What's better is the fact that it snowed 9 inches in Madison last week, and now it's just goes from that to being extremely cold. So at this point,
It's cold and it's all frozen and icy and.
Well, let's say here's the weird part. Yeah, well, first of all, you got to take the good with the bad. Okay. This is the earliest snow that I can remember it being in Madison in a long time. Normally there's nothing on the ground, but now all of a sudden there's snow right at the start of December. I'm just that is so rare for that to happen. Usually it waits to mid-January, you'll get 5 inches or 6 inches or something like that. But right away, it was just 9 total inches of snow, which was insane. And the one thing that doesn't change is, despite the fact that a lot of people have lived in the state for so long, nobody, when the snow first hits, nobody knows how to drive in the snow. There's all these crashes. And again, because you live in Milwaukee, right? And kind of seeing some Milwaukee drivers, you guys definitely.
I saw one today coming home.
Don't know how to drive in the snow. Milwaukee drivers, and again, I'm not going to be I'm a Milwaukee resident. However, I will say that Milwaukee drivers don't really know how to drive when it's when there's no snow on the ground. God forbid, but imagine what they're like when there is snow on the ground. And Madison drivers can be the same way, but especially when you get to those bigger cities, just good God. How does nobody know how to drive in the snow? It's crazy. For me, it's just so. But for me, it's just
when Texas gets an inch of snow.
Well, yeah, Texas gets an inch of snow, and all of a sudden they close it on the highways, and people have to leave their cars.
Shut down.
Yeah, they have to shut. It's tough. Georgia a number of years ago or something when they got
shut her down.
They had to shut her down, and Wisconsin were just all right, get the plows out. But
that's
no,
perfect. Yeah.
Hey. But for me, just driving the snow seems so simple. It's just just drive slow and brake early. It's just I just don't understand why people just don't get that concept.
Correct.
Speaking of snow, quick transition. Things have been a little icy between the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis. Obviously, Milwaukee has struggled this year.
Ooh, nice.
And Giannis, Cornish Sharm Sharania, everyone's favorite ESPN reporter, was essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I understand why people hate Shams. I think that they think he's pushing this narrative that Giannis wants out of Milwaukee, and as much as I'm frustrated by the amount of coverage that has received, I also don't think that they would have any reason to lie about that, right? And I get why people are hyper focused on, but it's that's his job. His job is to break the news, even if not everyone's happy about it. And look, Giannis hasn't really. I mean, Giannis has said, look, repeatedly, if this team continues to compete for championships, I will be here. But if they don't, then I'm going to have to think about my future. Well, Evan, starting to think about his future right now. There was a report from Shams that said him and his agent will essentially be talking to the organization, and they're going to decide whether it's in his best interest to remain as a Buck, or if it's best if they decide to deal him elsewhere. Now, first, when you read that, what was your reaction to it? And I guess at this point, what do you think Milwaukee's going to do?
I had I was at work and one of my coworkers sent it to me, and it was like a punch in the gut. Just because you read some of them, like at the start of the season, blah blah blah, and then when it gets more involved, like obviously they're talking about like meeting with the owner, agent, etc. It gets a little more like, is this like how accurate is it? But no, it definitely left a just it sucks, because the Giannis has been here 12 years already, going on season 13. Um, no, it's definitely tough to go through. Obviously, they want to keep him here. They've done everything they can. Obviously, bring Thanasis back. Putting guys around him that can help contribute. A lot of it's just, I mean, I can say it. A lot of it's been on him too. He gets hurt quite often. He just got hurt again last night. He's out for another month. He just missed about 2 weeks earlier. It's just like injuries too, or it's obviously you can't expect injuries all the time, but a lot of it's hard to do when they are pushing themselves to get better. Even last year, they started like 0-8, and you come back, and it's not like they are, I want to say, like the Wizards record, as they just lost to the Wizards, but they could be in a way worse situation record wise at the start of December, essentially, and they just beat the Pistons without him last night. So I feel better with how it's going right now. I know there were reports, or Bobby Portis was saying like yesterday they had like a team meeting talking about everything, and clearly whatever happened worked, because they sure were able to have a crazy comeback last night. But no, it's the whole Giannis situation. It's frustrating at times just because like you hear it every year, but this one into the season is a lot worse hearing than it is at the end of a season or in like the summer when things are slowly starting to transition into the new season itself. But yeah, not thrilling to see that in early December, as the season, is about 25% ish through already.
Yeah, and I think and again, everybody's going to be kind of looking to that December 15th deadline, where I believe you could kind of figure out what the deadline is. It's like if you could start kind of making trades, or if you could start trading like extension eligible players or something like that. I forgot. I didn't like do a whole read on it, but I mean, do I think? Can I sit here right now and think that Milwaukee will trade him on that deadline? Probably not. I think they're kind of going to see how they play without him. Now, at this point, they are 2-5 without Giannis. And and according to Windhorse, they were like 9-8 with him or something like that. So I mean, like technically, it's just not a good roster. I just think that's what this boils down to is you look at this roster, and I wasn't even sure if it was like a good roster last year. With even with the additions of Chris Middleton Kyle Kuzma for Chris Middleton, which I kind of think that's when Giannis started to really think about his future, is after they traded Chris Middleton, right? Because I read a story from Jake Fisher, and he said that the team was in Charlotte, and Giannis kept asking, "Where's Chris? Where's Chris?" And he later found out that Middleton got traded. That's where it kind of was like, I've been with this guy since my rookie year. We came in together. Middleton's obviously like a year older, I believe. But, I came in with this guy. We spent 12 years together. We went through the highs and lows of this team. And then they traded him for Kyle Kuzma. I think that's where it kind of set in, where it was like, wow, there's no loyalty anymore to me, to the people I like playing with. Because, and again, it hasn't even been a bad trade, because, Kyle Kuzma has been solid this year. It's just more or less the fact that, you can't.
It's who he was traded for.
Yeah, who he was traded. Well, yeah, who he was traded for. The fact that they signed him to the Wizards, and just the fact that they didn't like stick with him through all of, like the injuries and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess I just don't know why exactly that deal was made. I don't know if they were expecting Kyle Kuzma to dramatically improve their chances. Again, he's been like a solid player for us, but it's more or less just the fact that I came in with Middleton, spent 12 years together, 12 years of memories, friendship, having that brotherhood, and then for it just to be gone, it's just like shit. There's like almost nobody left. And then obviously, Brooke Lopez signs with the Clippers in free agency, so that's like two pieces from the championship that are now gone. And Giannis, I think, essentially feels that. Oh, and then Drew Holiday got traded.
Yep.
And obviously before the 2023 season began, in which, a day before that, he gave an interview, said, "I want to spend the rest of my career in Milwaukee," and then they traded him the next day. I just think that as hard as Milwaukee has done to appease Giannis, it's also just one of those things where now he feels like he has to carry the burden himself. Because there's three key pieces right there from the championship run that are no longer on the team. Look, he still has Bobby Portis. Don't get me wrong.
I think he's the only one.
But you still have Bobby Portis, but still, it's just the moves that Milwaukee has made to try to improve the roster just haven't worked. They found great players in AJ Green, and I think Gary Trent's been solid. But with every AJ Green, with every Gary Trent, there's a, I don't know, like throw out a name, like but see, that's the thing too. It's like the players that Milwaukee has gotten, like they've been solid. They've been solid for the most part. We've gone back and forth about the, should they have gotten rid of Grayson Allen and kept Pat Connaughton? I vehemently said no. I thought Grayson Allen was a better shooter, and I thought he provided a little more to Milwaukee than Pat Connaughton did at that time. But just getting rid of the pieces that Giannis had when he won a championship, I can understand why he feels frustrated about, like, I'm having to do everything myself. Everything's falling on me to try and win us this game. And that's not a good way that I want to win. Or that's not the way that we're going to win. And I think he's starting to feel that. I think that's why his representatives are going to the Bucks organization. Look, we're not going to win a championship with me scoring 35 every night just to squeak out like a 130 to 125 win. We're not winning like that. We can't win like that in the playoffs. But look, I also think that Bucks ownership has done a lot more damage than people realize. Because if you think back to 2023, right, and they lose to Miami in the first round. Miami, obviously, as you guys remember, got the play-in, won a couple games, stuck into the postseason, went on a historic run, I would say, as an 8 seed. Knocks off the 1-seeded Bucks. And that series wasn't particularly close. Budenholzer gets fired. And then they hire a first-year coach, a first-time coach, Adrian Griffin. Obviously, as you kind of think back to that season, that team gave no effort on defense. Everything was really high scoring, kind of similar to how it is now. But they were 31-13. But, the veteran players on that roster were they didn't jive with him at all. And that's why it lasted one of the shortest NBA coaching tenures in history because Lillard and Giannis didn't jive with him. When you're a veteran and when your 2 star players don't jive with the coach, guess who's going to go first?
You are.
So, and again, that even before he got fired, there was some concern there that he was, not picking up being an NBA coach as quickly as people would want. There was that report that they brought in Doc Rivers as some sort of consultant to kind of help Adrian Griffin through being a head coach. And keep in mind this is going to be his first year as an NBA and ESPN announcer. Like he was going to do games.
Yep.
But then the Bucks pulled him. But then Griffin gets fired. They pulled him, Rivers, out of the broadcast booth. They have him coach for us, and surprise, surprise, that hasn't worked. And literally every Bucks fan with the pulse and who had watched the NBA for years knew that was going to happen. You knew it wasn't going to work. Okay, Doc Rivers constantly underachieved with good teams. He's coached so many good teams throughout his career, yet he underachieves with damn near all of them. He hasn't won a title since 2008. Okay, he's never made. I don't remember the last time he even made an Eastern Conference Finals. He didn't make one with the Sixers. He
never did with the Clippers.
Never did it with the Clippers.
Couldn't win.
And the reason why I don't like Doc Rivers is just because of the fact that nothing is ever his fault. He always has some sort of excuse lined up when something goes wrong. Like when the Bucks lost a game earlier this season on a back-to-back, he literally said the guys were tired. That was a direct quote.
As if that was the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah, as if that's the first time that these are NBA players, and that's the first time that they played back-to-back. Well, the guys were tired. They didn't have the legs. All right, okay. Yeah, everybody gets tired off a back-to-back. But, there's a lot of teams who have won on a back-to-back. So, that was literally the last excuse I want to hear is, the guys were tired. And if they make millions, no disrespect, and I'm not trying to sound like a boomer here, but they do make millions of dollars. That's why they make the millions of dollars, just so that they could get their body right, just so they're ready for the next game. And here's the other thing too. What's the excuse for Giannis has to perform every night. He's a superstar player. He has to basically go out and score 30. If Giannis goes out and scores 30, and the next game he scores 5, Giannis not going to sit there and be like, I was tired. Dude, Giannis has one of the hardest jobs in the league because he has to constantly be putting up big numbers for this team to win. You know how hard that is to do that every single night? With the beating that he takes on a nightly basis, and it is a beating, okay? It is a beating. And I've seen some things from Bucks Twitter that has essentially been the NBA's rigged it so Giannis leaves Milwaukee. That's why they're officiating him bad because he wants to leave Milwaukee. I don't believe that to be true. I just think that Giannis, they just don't know how to officiate for him. He is kind of like Shaq in terms of he's so powerful that sometimes you just don't know how to officiate him. There was that play earlier in the year where the Bucks were playing the Kings. Russell Westbrook pulled him down.
Yeah.
And they called it a common foul. And I just think it's because it's what the hell else is he supposed to do? And look, I do see some things where I just don't know if the Bucks get a good whistle. Last night, the Kevin Porter Jr. He literally got hit in the face, smoked in the face. Did not call a flagrant foul at all. They just called it a common foul, and he got
doing this what?
He got smoked, and they called it a common foul. And there was that game against the Wizards where Jericho Sims hit a guy a little too hard, and he got a flagrant one. So I just don't know if there's any consistency there in terms of who gets a good whistle and who doesn't. But it is frustrating to watch because sometimes the NBA officials there's no consistency there at all, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of Giannis getting just absolutely maimed, and he gets a common foul call. Just that doesn't make any sense. What? Just because he's more powerful than everybody else, he doesn't deserve to get a good whistle on that.
And then Shea gets a foul for not even being touched.
Leaning into him, yeah.
Yep.
All right, there was actually a topic that I forgot to put on here, but I will throw it in there. So one of the other reports, the anti-Giannis Buck stuff is going to start coming out, which again I do believe that a lot of the stuff to be true. To be quite honest with you, because again I don't believe you would have any reason why. But reportedly Giannis was frustrated when Milwaukee waived Damian Lillard. I don't know if you saw this anywhere, but
No, I didn't.
yeah. So apparently, this is from like NBA Central. Is like that. He said that the Bucks are reportedly frustrated when Giannis waived Damian Lillard. And my whole thing with that is if that is true, well, Damian Lillard wasn't going to help this team this year. So I just don't understand where that frustration would be coming from. Because again, I do think because a little bit of it was talked about after they signed Miles Turner, to where I think he believed that, oh shoot, we signed Miles Turner and we're going to be able to keep Dame. Well, but Dame wasn't going to be helping us this year.
Yep.
So I just don't know if that would have made any sense to be like keep Dame on the roster, and we'll have like a big three. The other thing that I don't know if Giannis realizes, Dame just didn't want to be here.
Correct.
Like I just don't
show it for 2 years.
Like I don't understand, like why we're trying to make this to believe like, oh my God, Dame was like bought it. No. Like think about this for a second, okay? The Bucks gave him a tribute video, like I believe it was last month when they played Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I agree with that? No, not necessarily. I do think sometimes we do get a little out of hand with the tribute videos. Okay, when they made work for Chris, all right, that's understandable. It's 12 years, and he won a championship. But Damian Lillard, I mean, he was there for like a cup of coffee, didn't want to be here, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to thank Dame for like, all these big moments, all these big shots. It's like, what? Okay, what? Like, all right, I'm not sitting here being like Dame was awful, but like, I mean, come on, it did fall really short of expectations. Like, it was a massive disappointment. So no, I don't. And here's my other question too. You know how like when a player leaves like a team or wherever, they like have like a social media post thanking the city of Milwaukee for placing him and their family and blah blah blah. Did Dame do that? I don't think he did. I don't think
so either.
I didn't see a social media post that thanked the city of Milwaukee for embracing him, because they did. Milwaukee did everything that they could to embrace him. He just didn't. And here's the other thing. And here's another thing that I knew he didn't want to be here. He didn't even do like the. You know how like. And Evan, you've worked a lot of Brewer games, right? You worked almost every Brewer game.
Yeah.
Did Dame ever throw out the first pitch at a Brewer game?
No. I only had Thanasis, AJ Johnson, Tyler Smith, and Miles Turner, and AJ Green were the only ones.
So you don't think that Milwaukee, the Brewers, because they do that for every new free agent, by the way.
Yep.
Granted, it probably wouldn't have worked in that particular instance because, like 2023, like that would have been understandable because you got traded for him in like September. But at all, did he get?
Yeah.
Did he throw out the first pitch for the Brewers in the 2024 season? Like when they had like obviously like a full season and all that other stuff. Never threw out a first pitch. No, he didn't do the. He didn't do anything that a new free agent is supposed to do when they go to a new city. I didn't see him pull up to a Brewer game. I didn't see him pull like. And again, I'm not sitting here being like he never supported him, or he never like. But what I am saying though is, whether it's going to a Brewer game, like embrace the city that acquired you.
Torian Prince even goes to Brewer games.
Huh?
Torian Prince goes to Brewer games. I saw him quite a few times this year.
Yeah. Like again, embrace the city that acquired you. It just feels like from like that opening, that welcome that the city got out for him. He just never did that. Now, granted, to be fair to him, he was going through a lot at that point. Like he was going through a divorce, so I will be fair to him. It's just that. And he just didn't embrace the city of Milwaukee. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that this was like the first time that he was like away from like his family in like a long time in Portland. So I think he's happy to be back. I think that's where his family lives. but I don't know. It just feel like it was a culture shock for him, where it's like, I think that was like the huge reason why he didn't want to be in Milwaukee, is just because of like, I'm so far away from like my family. So again, I just think that Giannis, I just think with that, I just don't believe that. It just wouldn't have, it wouldn't, like, who was it going to help? Like, it wasn't going to help anybody if
Yep.
they
Out a
can't
whole
be-
year,
Yeah.
ACL tear, a year older, one more year. It's like,
Well, it was the
well,
Achilles, but
yeah,
yeah, like and who knows if Loader would have gone back to being the same player.
correct.
So, let's see. Here was another one. This is a huge point that I disagree with Giannis on. He said in about 5 years they're going to start talking about him as the all-time points leader.
Yeah.
Now,
He just hit 21,000.
Yeah, now look, I love the confidence. Don't get me wrong. Do I think that that's going to happen? No, it's not. Look, it took what? LeBron, 19 years to pass Kareem's record? You think you're going to –
With a 3-point shot, too.
Yeah, like, does Giannis honestly think? Like, yes, it's okay. It is okay to be like, you know what? From where I came from, I've had a really storied career. I essentially came from nothing, and I built myself up to be one of the greatest players of all time, one of the best players in the world. You're not touching that record. Like, you're not. It took LeBron 19 years of essentially being healthy, because LeBron playing a lot of games. Giannis, you literally went down last night, like in a non-contact injury, that in a manner in which I don't think I've ever seen LeBron go down that way. And LeBron's a physical presence, but he could also regularly, but he could shoot. LeBron could shoot a lot. LeBron can fill it up, and when it's time for him to score, he could score.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one in particular, why I just looked at that and I was like, okay, there is no way Giannis honestly thinks he's going to catch LeBron as one of the all-time points leaders. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't.
He'll pass some people.
55. Yeah,
he'll pass some people. Don't get me wrong, but like LeBron, but he's not. No, that's honestly now one of the more unbreakable records in sports. I don't think anybody's touching that. Kareem retired in 1989. Okay, that record did not get broken for another 30 years. Do you honestly think anybody's touching LeBron's record with the longevity that he's had in this league? And here's the other thing too: how long does Giannis think he's going to play?
Correct. I don't even think he'll get 35,000.
No. I just want to know how long Giannis thinks he's going to play, because you almost want to retire when the bubble is over. So I just want to, or during the bubble. So I just want to know how long reasonably is Giannis going to play. He's already had 12 years, good solid career, Hall of Fame career for sure. But I mean, look, let's be honest here. Giannis being a high contact player, as you get older, I'm telling you, those injuries do pile up. And, those nicks and dings kind of start to increase a little bit. Starting to see it a little bit with Giannis, where it's like, all right, he's, him being a powerful force is like, all right, those nicks and dings, man, I'm telling you, it takes a lot longer to recover. And I don't even know if it's a point where it's like Giannis could even change his play style. At this point, it's 12 years because he's bigger and stronger than everybody else. But, I'm telling you, Giannis would have to be healthy for the next 5 years, and he's not healthy right now. So, So yeah, I'm just kind of curious as to where
those points are going to come from.
Yeah. Yep. All right, another Giannis topic. God, this is good. I knew this was going to be such a fun podcast. So it looks like Giannis has scrubbed all the social media posts related to the Bucks, with the exception of the finals photo and the cup photo. He's done this before.
Yeah, he does it every year.
He does it every year. Now, I think the difference here is, like, I don't think he's ever done it during the season. Maybe he has, and I just haven't paid attention to it. He usually does it, like, before the season, where it's like, oh my God, he hadn't followed the Bucks, but he still follows his brother. And then he kind of – but I think now it's, like, a little more concerning just because of the fact that it was during the season, Milwaukee's struggling. There's a lot of, like, when there's smoke, there's fire. There was a lot of talk of Giannis wanting to be traded. So – it did perk my ears up a little bit. I don't read too much into it, but by the same token, this could also be his way of locking in. Now, he's not going to be locking in for 2 to 4 weeks because that's how long he's going to miss. And if I had to guess, it's probably going to more or less be that 4-week timeline. So I guess, did you have any sort of reaction when he scrubbed the Bucks? Like a lot of the Bucks posts for social media?
I wasn't too worried, again, just because he does it every offseason. Obviously, it's a little different that it is in the season, but I know the big reason as to why he does do it, I would assume to, one, like, eliminate distractions. You're going on a break. You don't really need to be seeing a lot of the extra stuff being posted or anything like that. Just being able to have an open mind on things. And I know I was reading, some people were saying like it's a Greek thing to like eliminate distractions. Again, pretty much what we were just saying earlier. I don't know how true that is or not. I don't want to quote it or anything, but I definitely feel like it's like what you said, to lock in, and eliminate any distractions or anything around that you see. People are going to be posting about it, unfollow it. Deleting all the photos is a little weird, but I wasn't too upset or too worried. Again, just because it's not a new thing for him to do, so I don't feel as upset. Again, only weird thing is that is in the season itself, but I wonder if it still has the same meaning as it usually does, just in a different time period throughout the year itself.
Yeah, and I think that's, and again, the media loves those stories like that. It's like, oh my God, he unfollowed the Bucks on social media. Oh my God, he like every
year when he does it.
Well, yeah, he does it. Yeah, and well, granted, Giannis has even said, it's like, I'm not on social media as much as y'all think I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even think he, like, there's a lot of stuff where people ask him, it's like, I didn't see that. Like, I just don't think I don't know if he's like a regular user of like Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. I do think though that he is trying to become a streamer. He was hanging out with iShowSpeed this summer.
Yep. TikToks a few years ago. I know he was posting a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff where it's like maybe there's some of the stuff he sees, but I just also don't think that he's like regularly on like social media. He's not like Kevin Durant where he's like got burner accounts. And stuff like that. Or he's like, even Kevin Durant's main page, like going back at people, he is not like that at all. But I'm not too concerned about it. Media loves stories like that. I don't like people just read too much into that stuff. It's probably just him wanting to lock in. So, I guess my final Giannis related topic is like, do you think it's more likely that the Bucks trade him like during the season, or do you think they're going to wait till the offseason to trade him?
If they were to trade him, I feel like you got to do it in the offseason. I would say, like, injury-wise, all that kind of stuff, just once the season's done, I feel like it's so much easier to do just because, you're could be healthy. Again, fingers crossed, but there's nothing that could essentially hurt the team during the middle of the season or to another team. Again, it was like when they traded Josh Hader in the middle of the season, the Brewers. It completely distracts the team itself. Again, they didn't make the playoffs that year, and they've made it every other year for the last 7 years or so. So I feel like trading him in the middle of the season would absolutely kill any momentum, camaraderie, fan base. The list could go on and on.
My thing with that is if you're going to trade him during the season, you have to get an all-star level player back.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if Giannis is continuously asking out, which quick aside, I do take a bit of an issue with guys like what Shannon Sharp and Gilbert Arenas said, in which they were like, "Oh my God, you're like, you said that you would never join up with the super team with like LeBron and KD, but here you are like asking to be traded to the Knicks." Well, first of all, Giannis is still on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those scenarios are completely different because Kevin Durant left to join a super team after they lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Golden State Warriors. They're bitter rivals. LeBron left to join Miami after like a loss in like the second or third round of the Celtics back in 2010. So those situations are completely different. Giannis is only asking for it after the Bucks have allowing 129 points to the Wizards and basically
And losing.
and essentially every win this season would be like a close game, with the exception of I believe the Warriors and the Knicks. Like those situations are completely different. Giannis knows that this roster isn't going anywhere. That's why he's now. Granted, here's the other problem I have is people thinking that like if he joins up with the Knicks, oh my God, that's a super team. Well, they have two superstar players.
Yeah, if we're getting Cat or Jalen Brunson back, it'd be Cat, which would be stupid with Miles Turner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would be. Yeah, I'm not like I've watched Cat. That's not a player I would want in a trade. He doesn't play any defense. He fouls a lot, and he wouldn't show up in the playoffs. Like, but again, like it would be completely different from like the whole Lakers and Luka Doncic situation, or the Mavs and Luka Doncic, only because of the fact that Luka never asked for a trade for Dallas, and the GM just made a boneheaded decision to trade him for like Anthony Davis because what defense wins championships? That's the bullshit line he used. But again, this team's not winning. This roster's not going anywhere, and I can't blame Giannis for that. So stop. So I don't think he should be criticized. Want to join a super team with Jalen Brunson? Like, and by the way, if I'm demanding a trade, why would I not ask for a trade for like the best teams?
Correct. People are talking about like the Raptors and stuff. It's like what is that going to? We're going to take all those players that you are going to like assume are going to win. They're all going to be on the Bucks.
Yeah, like oh my God. Well, some of them are like, oh my God, Giannis to the Heat. Well, the Heat would have to trade half their roster to get Giannis. They were talking about like some people were talking about Khalil Ware and Terry Rozier. I'm like, Terry Rozier, can he even still play? Will he be allowed to play in NBA games again? Like, why people throw Terry Rozier's name in there? Isn't he still under like a gambling investigation?
Yep.
Terry Rozier's not going to play in an NBA game again. Like, he's going to be banned for life from the NBA. Are you kidding me? Like I read that investigation. Yeah, Terry Rozier's not suiting up in another NBA game ever again. I would be very, very surprised. Just like Chauncey Billups will never coach an NBA game again. Like you can't gamble. Like I've never seen a person get popped for gambling in the NBA and not get banned. Yep. It's happened. Like the NFL has suspended guys for a year and they've come back. But the NBA is a little different. NBA, like Jonte Porter, can never play in another NBA game again. Terry Rozier would be very surprised if he could play another NBA game again. Chauncey Billups, same thing. So, but the Heat don't have enough.
Yeah.
Like if they could trade Bam Adebayo, then you pique my interest a little bit. But like I don't want Khalil Ware and Nikola Jovic and And I'm not just making that up. Danny Green actually said it on one of these podcasts the other day. Where he's like, oh, yeah, they should give up Khalil Ware and like Nikola Jovic and like I was like, what?
And then picks that they're gonna pick someone bad and then trade them.
Now look, here's the trade that would intrigue me if they were to trade him. The Spurs.
Yep, Stephen Castle
Well, so here's what
or
they
Harper.
Well, they did say that Dylan Harper would be kind of considered untouchable, but like if they get Stephon Castle, that would be. And I've heard the name De'Aaron Fox. That trade couldn't happen until February because he's not like trade eligible yet. But you know,
How old is De'Aaron Fox? I love De'Aaron Fox.
he's a younger cost control guard. I think that would.
Am I older than him? I don't know.
He was drafted in 17.
Yep. He's 27. All right.
So he's heading into his
I
prime.
am older than him. Yep.
Okay. He's heading into his prime.
He's averaging 25 this year.
Huh?
He's averaging 25 this year. His birthday's in a couple weeks.
And I've heard this trade talked about. Giannis to the Hawks. I heard Bill Simmons talk about this. Giannis to the Hawks. For Trae Young, for Porzingis, and like multiple draft picks. Now, do I think that Trae Young? I'm going to be honest. I was intrigued when I read that. You're getting back another superstar player. Look, I understand how people feel about Ice Trae, but if you put the right pieces around him, he could win. The Hawks are like very much like a perennial play-in team. You put the right pieces around Trae Young.
They've just been mid for an eternity, and then they randomly made the conference finals.
Yeah, exactly. And then, here's the other thing too that Milwaukee needs to do. They got to get, if they could do that, and like if they trade Giannis like after the year in which, his trade value is at its highest, get an all-star level player back, stockpile some draft picks, start to build it that way.
Correct.
Because the Milwaukee hasn't done that. They, for some reason, have been against trying to build through the draft. And it's like, what do you think teams are doing? Like Milwaukee has no younger players to get excited about. I mean, really outside of Ryan Rollins, but like I'm talking about draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
They have traded away almost all their draft picks. They got rid of Sam Merrill, who's turned into a star, damn near in Cleveland. They got rid of DiVincenzo, who's actually turned into a solid rotational piece for the Timberwolves. So they got rid of AJ Johnson, who they drafted last year. So very much all they have right now is Tyler Smith, and they barely have him because
they don't have him.
Oh, they don't.
They waived him for Thanasis.
So like they've essentially they don't have any draft picks from like the 2024 draft. I believe
that's not. There's an NFL player named Tyler Smith. Oops. I think he went into the G League draft.
Yeah.
Tyler Smith and got like picked by someone. Yeah, he's on the Rockets.
Marjan got selected 2022. He's no longer on the team.
Nope. I think it's really Giannis and Andre Jackson Jr. And then your Mark Sears and I know, but he wasn't drafted. Never mind.
Barely Ajax though, because Ajax doesn't play unless they like really need him. Unless they're like, all right, we got two guys hurt. Ajax, get in there.
Yep, literally.
But yeah, they need to start building. They're so behind on this. It's just you need to start building through the draft. You're not a title contending team anymore. Mm-hmm. This is what non-title contending teams do. They start building through the draft.
I understand. OKC.
I understand that title contending teams don't use the draft picks, right? They help them develop off the bench, and like maybe they might make an impact next year. If the Bucks would have been smart, which I understand it's hard for some people up there, upper management, but if they would have kept Sam Merrill on the bench for 1 year, which would have been fine, and then had him develop into a solid rotational piece, how good this team would be but they didn't want to do that. They wanted to be like, all right, let's just get rid of all our draft picks. Sam Merrill, it's so frustrating the fact that they never see these draft picks through. Ever. They make the worst possible trades for these draft picks, and they end up and the guys that they trade end up being really good. Dante DiVincenzo ended up being really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you traded for Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka was like on his last legs. Why are you trading him for Serge Ibaka? Like that made no sense to me. That made less than no sense to me. Sam Merrill, who did he get traded for? Like he got traded for. I might have to look this up.
Was he Grayson Allen?
Grayson Allen gets maybe. I thought Grayson Allen got signed. Wait, because what team was Grayson Allen on?
The Grizzlies. Yeah, I think it was for Grizzlies acquire Sam Merrill and 2 future second-round picks from Bucks for Grayson Allen.
Okay, but then the thing is, then you trade Grayson Allen. I believe Grayson Allen was involved in that Lillard trade, wasn't he? So then, yeah, again, and I like Grayson Allen, but I don't know if I would have traded. Looking back on it, I don't know if I would have traded Sam Merrill for him. Okay, and now, like it's just.
I'm thinking of that Jay Crowder trade and 5 second-round draft picks.
Oh, that was bad.
And dumping George Hill and Jordan Nwora and all that. Oh my God. Like 8 people for one guy.
Good God. No, and I remember that too. And he even played for like half a season.
Yep. Started out hot and then just sucked ass.
Oh Lord, that Jay Crowder trade is giving me nightmares. Why did we do that? Why did we give out all those draft picks for Jay Crowder? Who pushed for that? I want to know who pushed for that. Did the ownership push for that? John Horst? I would want to know. Oh, the Nikola Mirotic trade. Don't even get me started on that. That was.
Oh, yep.
Jesus, some of these trades that Milwaukee does got to give me nightmares.
The Marvin Williams.
Marvin was solid. Like that was another. I mean, good God.
Known Buck, Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol on the Bucks. He didn't play at all, dude.
Nope.
We got a washed Pau Gasol. Washed.
He was the last team he played for. I just saw Gallinari retired. I'm like, oh yeah, Danilo. Thought that was going to be an awesome bench addition like Mirotic. Nope.
I just did not.
Couldn't hit a 3 to save his life. Man, what a time.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say this. I actually changed my mind because timing this, I didn't know how long this whole Giannis stuff would take. But considering that we talked about Giannis for nearly an hour, I would say we have enough content. But if you want to, in case you,
the Bucks kind of sucked this week.
Why don't we? Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah, we don't need to roll through all those games because let's essentially what it's going to be. The Bucks lost to the Heat.
Yep.
Okay, Bucks lost to the Knicks.
2 group stages.
Yep. Bucks killed the Nets. Giannis actually scored 21,000 points. Passed the 21,000 point mark in this game. Lost
to the Wizards.
Lost to the Wizards. Okay. CJ McCollum hit a shot late. Chris Middleton, very, very good.
Yeah, we need a guy like him.
I miss Chris Middleton. Milwaukee, after being down 17 to the Detroit Pistons, came back.
Without Giannis.
Giannis got hurt with 9 minutes. He only played in 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then he strained his calf. And he's going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. But, cool. This game in particular, the Pistons game was, it was really led by guys like A.J. Green and Kevin Porter Jr.,
and Jericho Sims.
Who I wish got a little more run. Oh, look at this. By the way, I'm looking at this right now. Cole Anthony didn't play.
Nope.
Wow. Jeez, he is really trying to switch up. Not granted, Ryan Rollins came off the bench, but still, I was like, damn, Cole Anthony didn't play in this?
Yeah, Giannis played 3 minutes and had 2 less points than Kyle Kuzma. Gary Trent only had 3 points. Gary Trent has been very recently been a little disappointing just with his like lack of shot attempts. Like 1 of 4.
Yeah. Yeah. So
he's barely shooting anything, I feel like. But Bobby Portis is taking 13 shots. Miles Turner took the same amount of threes as Gary Trent Jr. is. Like Miles Turner has been really underperforming.
Yeah, that's Miles Turner. He giveth and
Yep.
he taketh away. Sometimes he's really good.
Correct.
Sometimes he's really bad. Now, the interesting part about this Pistons game, that little beef that's going on there between Beef Stew and Bobby
Every
Portis.
game, I see Isaiah Stewart's stupid little face. I hate that guy. When he did this, I'm like, yep, he's gone.
Let me tell you,
2 techs in 56 seconds.
Let me tell you this. That's an easy guy to rattle.
Yeah.
Isaiah Stewart.
And Bobby's a really good instigator to do it.
But hey, let me tell you this. Those two guys legitimately will fight. There's nothing fake about those two. Those two guys legitimately would be on my bingo card to like get into a fight. Like those two, like just junkyard dogs. Like just not afraid. Bobby Portis picked up a figure 1. Isaiah Stewart picked up. He already picked up a tech earlier, and then for arguing with the refs, and then the second one was obviously fighting with Bobby Portis. So that was, but it was good that. But I'm really disappointed with loss to the Pistons. They were on like a really, really good track. But just looking at it, like Cade Cunningham, a little underwhelming. 17 points, 5 of 15 shooting.
Yep.
Tobias Harris hit a big shot late. He went 7 of 14.
Yeah, another cool guy that I wish the Bucks could have.
Well, hey, we just had to have JJ Redick.
Correct. God, he hated Milwaukee, and I hated him. I went to a game when he lost the game for us, and I was so pissed, and I never liked him.
Game against the Hawks.
Yep.
I was watching the game live. I remember that. Yeah, he was. I was.
Turn the ball over. What are you doing? Yeah, fuck that guy.
All right. Milwaukee's got a couple games coming up. I believe that. They play tomorrow against the Philadelphia 76ers. Is that at home or is that away?
That is home.
That is home, and then I believe they play at Detroit, right? Do I have that right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
That's already 3 games played against the Pistons, and it's December 6th.
It's pretty good. So.
Yep. Tomorrow at 7, Saturday at 6, and then not till next Thursday they don't play. So they have a 5-game stretch.
Look at that.
I believe is that more like NBA Cup stuff?
I believe so. Bucks won't be participating this year.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I haven't been as into it with them being so bad. You don't see a lot of it.
No.
Yep. Then they'll be back Thursday against the Celtics.
All right. First game against the Celtics. Would love to see that. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. We'll see you guys next week.